Greetings, I am the Lion Clan Chief. Welcome to the Lion Clan. In this video, I'll be responding yet again to Robert Sepehr, the Lord Snotep. You know, the qualified anthropologist who is exposing every single thing on this planet, showing that every single civilization and culture with agriculture is from blonde, blue-eyed, red-haired Caucasians. Now, in this video, I'll be responding to a video which he made around 3 months ago, where he discussed Jesus Christ having descendants and also Odin having descendants. Yes, that Odin. Yeah, the one with the crows and the eye. Yeah. In that video, he claimed that Odin came from Iraq and that Odin's descendants mixed with the descendants of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, interesting fantasy universe, that I'll say. But yeah, that being said, both Jesus Christ and Odin and all their descendants were blonde, blue-eyed, Indo-European, Caucasian Aryans, according to Robert. So people in the Middle East today, you're not the descendants of Odin. No. You're not even the descendants of Sumeria, according to him. Sumerians were white, blonde, blue-eyed Aryans. So in this video, I'll respond to a clip. Let's just play the clip and see what he has to say, right? Let's have a look.
Aryan, or Proto-Indo-European, is attributed to the population that first established and diffused agricultural civilization during the Holocene from the Caucasus Mountains region, having first domesticated animals there, such as horses and oxen, used in large-scale farming, which happens to also be where Mount Ararat is located, the place that, according to the Bible, Noah settled after the deluge, or end of the Pleistocene. It is interesting to note how many ancient maps divide the world into 3 parts, represented by Noah's 3 sons, all of whom would have been Caucasian, as the Caucasus region is where the term is derived from, becoming the Caucasian Japhites of Europe, the Caucasian Semites of Asia, represented by the Mesopotamian Aryan nobility, and the Caucasian Hamites of Africa, represented by the blonde and red-headed pharaohs of ancient Egypt, the original fair-skinned inhabitants of Ethiopia, as can be seen in this example of an Ethiopian king, the artwork inside of ancient churches in Sudan, the earliest depictions of Mansa Musa in Mali, and the early depictions of the original Moors who had a fair complexion.
So, according to that video, all of Noah's children were Aryan, Caucasian, all of them. Not one single of them was any other race. And they populated the world, created agriculture, and spread everywhere, and created every single culture and civilization on Earth. That's pretty much the fantasy, yeah? Now, in this video, let's focus on Ham, or Hamites, yeah? Biblically speaking, people known as Hamite or Hamitic are a diverse people, okay? They're not even all genetically directly related. Right? For example, Ham's oldest son was Cush, ancestor of Cush, aka Nubia. The people in this region were predominantly Cushitic and Nilotic. Some of them speaking Cushitic languages, some of them speaking Nilo-Saharan languages, as I just demonstrated in another video where I debunked Robert. Aside from them, you've got Mizraim, who's also the son of Ham. Mizraim, Mizar in Arabic, is the ancestor of Egypt, which was also called Keham, which means hot. Yeah, it's also linked to the Hebrew word Shecham, which means hot. Keham means black, sorry. I mix those two together. Now, those people spoke an Afro-Asiatic language, which was not Semitic as far as I know, but correct me if I'm wrong. And then you have the Canaanites, the people of the Levant, who are Semitic. Yeah, people like the Phoenicians were Canaanites. Yeah, or related to Canaanites, Phoenicians, Semitic. And then you have Cush's children, like for example Seba, who's meant to be the ancestor of Sheba. Yeah, the land of Sheba was in Yemen. Those people in Yemen are Semitic as well. You can see the diversity, right? They're not all directly linked if you look at it from a genetic and linguistic point. Now let's go to his image, which he is saying is King Ezana. King Ezana now was the conqueror king who defeated the Cushites and ended the Meroitic period, pretty much ending the civilization of Cush in the 4th century. Ezana lived between 320s and 350 AD, I believe, and his deeds are written on the Ezana stone. Nothing on the Ezana stone mentions blonde, green-eyed, red-haired, black-haired, whatever. It only talks about his conquest in the region. It doesn't mention him being Caucasian or Aryan. They were Ethio-Semitic people. Now, this piece of art right here that he's saying, oh look, Ezana was white, is actually not from the 4th century. It's a recent piece of art which was made recently in the 16th century and was redone between 100 and 250 years ago. The image that he's showing seems to be from the Ura Kidane Mehret church, which was founded in the 14th century. In the 16th century, the building with the murals that you see, that's when that was created. Also, the artwork that you're seeing was redone, again, like I said, 100 and 250 years ago. So the lighter skin tone is not accurate, because before that it was a lot darker. Because if you look at the older pieces of art in the murals, which are above where the hands are not touching, the figures look very darker. Now, the murals in this church depict biblical scenes, yeah, like the crucifixion, the deaths of the apostles, the virgin birth, so on. So it's pretty much showing that. But there are images which show rulers like emperors. For example, Emperor Menes is depicted here, and also Emperor Fasilides is depicted as well. Here you go. Now, do these look like Caucasians to you? Now, these emperors are more closer to the time period that this was built, so should be accurate. But there's no confirmation that the depiction that he shows as Ezana is actually Ezana. There's no confirmation. There's not many pieces of art that show him. Yeah, Ezana, the only confirmed depiction of Ezana are through his coins. This one with the old pagan symbol before he converted to Christianity, and this one afterwards. And that's not Ezana. And that skin tone depicted is not accurate, because the older pieces of art show darker depictions for the Ethiopian people. For example, in the Petros and Paulas church that was built between the 8th century and the 11th century, you see here that the Ethiopians are depicting themselves a lot darker. You can see, compared to that monk stood in front of the mural, the skin tone is dark. Yeah, this is how Ethiopians have looked for centuries. Yeah, the admixture which Ethiopians have with Eurasians predates history. It's prehistoric. It didn't happen in the historical period. It happened centuries before that. It actually predates their contact and trade with the Sabaeans, because some people assume the people of Seba in Yemen are the ones that invaded and then they established civilization, but that's not true. The Ethio-Semitic population predates that. So this is how they have looked throughout the historical period, and that can't be debated. So that's not King Ezana. So stop showing that image, bro. That's nonsense. It's not even from the period. Do better research. I think he got that image from this website, which shows that image is representing Ezana, but it does not confirm it. Yeah, if you go to people in Ethiopia, in that area, ask them, is this Ezana? They won't be able to tell you, because it's likely depicting another king, like the earlier emperors that I've mentioned, who are confirmed as being represented there. Even if it was depicting Ezana, it's not accurate. It's not period. Okay, so all that attire that he has, King Ezana in the 4th century wouldn't have dressed like that, and it wouldn't have looked like that. That's more recent depictions of Ethiopian emperors, Negases. Okay, now I don't know how many people know this, but the Aksumites conquered parts of Yemen for a period, a kingdom called Himyar, which was Jewish, Arab Jewish. Yeah, now the people of Himyar and also outside observers made note and described the Ethiopians. Now the Himyarites ended up getting assistance from the Persians of the Sassanid. So this emperor pretty much had to send forces twice in order to fully get rid of the Ethiopians. Now there's an account where he describes the Ethiopians as black and crispy haired people, yeah, and saying you need to make sure that you unalive all of them, including children and the women that they had mixed with, which is very, very dark. It's pretty much like a G word I can't say on YouTube, I guess. So these people of Aksum were described as Ethiopian or Sudani by some Arab accounts. They were also described as Kasaye or Kusaye, which is what they called Cushites. To the Greeks, they did describe them as Ethiopian as well. So these people were definitely not blonde-eyed, blue-eyed people. They looked pretty much similar to what they look like today. The Aksumites are Ethiopian, northern Ethiopians, ethno-Semitic people and Cushitic people. a conflict that they had with the Hamites and the Persians was very interesting, and a lot of stuff happened. It's a very interesting history, and some of the figures that are mentioned in that history, they're semi-mythical. Like this guy, who is responsible for pretty much getting all that arranged. But yeah, man, you can see from historical accounts, from DNA, from art, the Ethiopians have always been Ethiopians, okay? Not blue-eyed, blonde people, they're Ethiopian. God bless Ethiopia, okay? Now, going to Christian Nubia, he points to this piece of art and says, blonde people, there you go. Checkmate. Nubians were white before the black people, the black hunter-gatherers arrived and took the land from them somehow, even though they were dominating. Sorry to break it to you, I've already clarified this. The Cushites and the Nubians were speaking Nilo-Saharan languages, okay? The old Nubian writing is Nilo-Saharan, okay? Now, for some reason, Robert hates to show art like this and this from Christian Nubian churches, showing the Christian Nubian kings and their queens. Why exactly? Tell me, are these meant to be sunburnt Aryans? Is this what happens when you tan? Hey, people from Scandinavia, please let me know. According to Robert Sepehr, these are your people. These are your land. You conquered this land. You should rule this land. Yeah, your people you're related to who looked exactly like you. Yeah, can you get this tanned, like almost to my skin tone? Is that possible? Here's more art for you. Do these look like red-headed, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, green-eyed Aryans to you? Be honest. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm colorblind. I don't know. You clarify to me. This is art which he never shows. Why exactly? Huh? Why exactly? I mean, if you had an actual king depicted like this, then fair enough. Just keep in mind, you're seeing some white figures in this art. The Cushites were influenced by the Byzantine or the Eastern Roman Empire and their art. It's through them that they adopted the Christian religion. It said Emperor Justinian and his wife had some competition where they sent a monk or something or priest to one of the northern Christian Nubian kingdoms, which is Nobatia, and through that something happened. They started adopting the religion slowly. It didn't happen just like that. It took a few centuries. Then they adopted the religion and they had good relations with the Eastern Roman Empire. Then after that, the other two kingdoms, Makuria and Alodia, would adopt the religion as well over time with different means. So they would also have their own bishops, as you can see here, they're depicted, and also have their own priests and church order. The kingdom of Makuria and the kingdom of Nobatia eventually united, and the king of Makuria had full control of the church, and he could pretty much appoint who he wanted to the archbishop of this church region. Most people don't know that. Now, going back to the art, yes, you're seeing people with pale skin. You're seeing Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary depicted pale skin. You're seeing angels depicted pale skin. This is Byzantine style art which inspired the Cushites, but they also made it into their own style. But when it comes to themselves, as you can see by the way they depict themselves, they were dark-skinned African people, similar to today. This is a Nubian today, and this is the art of Nubia. They're Nubians. Okay, they're black people. These are not Aryans. Never have been, never will be. Sorry, Robert. You're debunked yet again. Mind you, there's other images I can show. Like this one, like this one. There's plenty of them. Robert cherry picks images which go with his agenda, which is kind of pathetic. Now, when it comes to the Moors, again, the Moors were a diverse people. Yeah, predominantly they were Berbers, yeah, and Arabs, but there were black Berbers and also black Moors. Some of these became auxiliary troops for the Moors. Some of them were slave soldiers, but some of them were free Muslim soldiers who went freely to Al-Andalus to partake in those conflicts. Now, these images that you're seeing here are historical images of the Moors, okay? So some of them, as you can see, are very pale skinned. Some of them are brown, some of them are black. That's historical accuracy. This is how they would have looked. This is how they're depicted for a reason. But that being said, the people that you class as Moors, the Berbers, are not directly Indo-European. They may have some genetic admixture over time through the centuries, but again, they're not Indo-European. They're native North African people, speakers of the Berber Afro-Asiatic language. Genetically, they're tied to people in East Africa via the paternal haplogroup of the E haplogroup, a specific subclad of that. Again, if I've said anything that's wrong, that's misleading, or I've misinterpreted what Robert is saying, please correct me. I'm open for correction. I said that in my previous video when I was debunking this guy. He can come, leave a comment or make a response video, or you guys who are supporting him, since some of you guys are telling me, oh no, he's not got time for you. Fair enough. Show me how I'm wrong, because he goes around almost every week showing these images, saying, oh, gotcha, there you go. These civilizations were Aryan. These civilizations were Caucasians. Yeah, you black people were just hunter-gatherers with no civilization, no social structure, no kings, no mythology, nothing. I mean, is that fair to go around spreading lies like that? That's not right. Yeah? Come on. This is why I'm addressing this. So feel free. If I'm wrong, if I've presented misinformation, if I'm wrong about something, if you can prove that what I've said is wrong, feel free. Show me. I'm here waiting. I'm always going to be waiting. As for you, Robert, Lord Snowtep, I'll take my advice. If you do see this, I don't know, you probably won't see this. Stop talking about Africa, bro. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay? You're an anthropologist, but you're making yourself look like a fool because you're not doing enough research. You're not doing basic research to fact check what you're saying. Literally, what you're saying is easily debunked. Yeah? And you're using misleading images, which if you do actual in-depth research, you will know, oh, this is wrong. And you're misleading people. Like I showed with the Christian Nubian art. There's plenty of art where you see dark-skinned people, the bishops, the kings, knights, well, the equivalents of knights, warriors, should I say. So how exactly was the society Aryan? Blonde-eyed, blue-eyed. I mean, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Eh? How was it Aryan? How was it Indo-European? When the people were speaking Old Nubian. Huh? The civilizations in this region remained Nilotic and Cushitic. The cultures, I mean. Anyway, I think that's enough for one video. I will be making another response when it comes to his comments on symbology, especially the mustache man's symbol. Yeah, he goes around claiming that this symbol, because it's found in different cultures all over the world, it means Aryans were there and Aryans conquered and Aryans ruled. Little does he know, different cultures have different meanings for their symbols. Okay, they create the same symbol. It doesn't mean the same thing, and I'll prove that in the next video. But in the meantime, hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Please like, subscribe, comment, and again, give me feedback. If I've said anything wrong, if I've done anything wrong, feel free to correct me. I'm here open for correction. Unlike Robert, who's blocking people, who can't even defend his stance, I'm here to defend mine. Yeah, so if I've said anything wrong, feel free, let me know. Anyway, welcome to the Lion Clan. Yes, I am your chief. Hope you've enjoyed.